Hello, space explorers, and welcome back to the Curiosity Club. Ever looked up at the night sky and wondered about all those twinkling lights? Today, we're blasting off on an amazing journey to answer a couple of super cool questions. Why are planets different colors, and why do some of them have awesome rings? Let's fire up our imaginations and get ready for an adventure. First stop, planet colors. Think of the planets in our solar system like a big box of colorful crayons. We've got reddish Mars, blue Neptune, and pale yellow Saturn. But why aren't they all the same color? It all comes down to what they're made of. Let's visit Mercury first. It's the closest planet to the Sun. Mercury is a rocky planet covered in a thick layer of dark gray dust. Its surface is mostly made of rock and metal, so it looks a bit like our moon. A dark, dusty gray ball with lots of craters from asteroid impacts. It doesn't have much of an atmosphere, which is like a blanket of air, so there are no clouds or weather to change its color. It's just plain old gray rock. Next, let's zip over to Venus. Venus is shrouded in thick, yellowish-white clouds. These aren't clouds of water like on Earth. They're made of a nasty stuff called sulfuric acid. These clouds are so thick that they completely cover the planet's surface. They're also really good at reflecting sunlight, which is why Venus shines so brightly in our night sky. It's the yellowish-white color of these clouds that gives Venus its look. And here we are, home sweet home, Earth. You know this one. Our planet is often called the blue marble. Why? Because about 70% of our surface is covered in water. Oceans, seas, lakes, and rivers. From space, all that water looks bright blue. The white swirls you see are clouds, and the patches of green, brown, and yellow are the continents, our land. The mix of blue oceans, white clouds, and green and brown land makes Earth a truly beautiful and colorful planet. Now let's travel to the famous red planet, Mars. Why is it red? Well, the surface of Mars is covered in a lot of iron-rich dust and rocks. Think of it like a piece of metal left out in the rain. What happens? It gets rusty, right? That rust has a reddish-brown color. The same thing has happened on Mars over billions of years. The iron in the soil has rusted, giving the whole planet its signature reddish-orange glow. So, Mars is basically a giant, dusty, rusty world. Okay, buckle up. We're now heading to the giants of our solar system. First up is Jupiter, the biggest planet of them all. Jupiter is a gas giant, meaning it doesn't have a solid surface like Earth or Mars. It's mostly made of hydrogen and helium, the same gases that make up the Sun. But what gives Jupiter its beautiful stripes and swirls of white, yellow, brown, and red? Those are giant stormy clouds. These clouds are made of different chemicals like ammonia ice that get stretched into long bands by Jupiter's super-fast rotation. The famous Great Red Spot is a gigantic storm, bigger than our entire planet, that has been raging for hundreds of years. Right next door is the gorgeous Saturn. Like Jupiter, Saturn is also a gas giant made of hydrogen and helium. Its colors are a bit more muted though, mostly a pale, buttery yellow. This is because it has a hazy upper layer of ammonia crystals that hides some of the more colorful clouds below. But we all know what makes Saturn truly special, don't we? Its incredible rings. We'll talk more about those in just a minute. Our last two stops are the ice giants, Uranus and Neptune. Let's visit Uranus first. This planet has a lovely pale blue-green color. It's also a gas giant, but it has something extra in its atmosphere, methane gas. This methane gas absorbs red light from the sun and reflects blue and green light back out into space, which is why Uranus looks the way it does. It's a very calm-looking, beautiful blue-green ball. And finally, our furthest planet, Neptune. Neptune is a stunning, deep, vibrant blue. Like Uranus, its color comes from methane gas in its atmosphere. But Neptune is an even deeper blue. Scientists think there might be another unknown ingredient in its atmosphere that gives it such a rich color. Neptune is also a very stormy planet, with some of the fastest winds in the solar system, creating dark spots that are actually giant storms. So, there you have it. Each planet's color tells a story about what it's made of and what's happening on its surface or in its atmosphere. From dusty gray Mercury to rusty red Mars and the brilliant blue of Neptune, it's a colorful family of worlds. Now for part 2 of our cosmic quest, the rings. When you think of rings, you probably think of Saturn, and for good reason. Saturn's rings are the largest and most spectacular in the solar system. But did you know that Saturn isn't the only planet with rings? Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune have them too. They're just much fainter and harder to see. So what are these rings made of? They're not solid hoops like a hula hoop. They're actually made of billions, maybe even trillions, of individual pieces of ice and rock. These pieces can be as small as a grain of sand or as big as a house. They all orbit the planet together, forming these beautiful thin sheets we see as rings. But where did all this stuff come from? Scientists have a few cool ideas. One leading theory is that the rings are the leftover pieces of moons, comets, or asteroids that got too close to the giant planet. The planet's powerful gravity would have been too strong for these objects. Imagine a giant hand slowly pulling a clay model apart. The planet's gravity would have ripped the moon or comet into tiny little bits. These bits would then have spread out and started orbiting the planet, forming the rings we see today. Another idea is that the rings are made from material that was left over from when the planet itself was first forming, about 4.5 billion years ago. Maybe it was a cloud of dust and ice that never quite came together to form a moon, and instead just stayed as a ring system. Let's look at Saturn's rings again. They are incredibly wide, stretching out for thousands of kilometers, but they are amazingly thin. In most places, they're only about 10 meters thick. That's about the height of a 3-story building. That's why, when we see Saturn from the side, the rings can almost disappear. Jupiter's rings are very faint and are made of tiny dust particles, probably kicked up from its small inner moons by micrometeorite impacts. Uranus has a set of narrow, dark rings made of chunks of rock and dust. And Neptune's rings are strange. They are clumpy and not uniform, with thicker parts called arcs. So, the planets have their amazing colors because of what they're made of. And the giant planets have their beautiful rings because their immense gravity either tore something apart or held onto leftover debris from long ago. The universe is full of such amazing and beautiful mysteries, isn't it? What a fantastic journey. We've seen rusty reds, stormy stripes, and icy blues. We've learned that rings aren't solid, but are made of countless pieces of ice and rock dancing in orbit. The next time you look at a picture of a planet, you'll know the secret behind its unique look. Thanks for joining me on this incredible adventure through our solar system. What else are you curious about? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the Curiosity Club so you don't miss our next exciting exploration. Until next time, stay curious.